gamers, bladers, and fellow awesome nerds. It is I, Baku Dad, one half of the Baku Boys, and if this is your first time to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. Also, please be sure to drop us a comment so it can help keep our channel growing, and also check out our other projects in the description below, as we do try and release weekly Bakugan, Beyblade, and other awesome nerdy content every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into what I've got in store for you guys for this video. So today is Saturday, October 22nd, and it has been Magic the Gathering week on our channel. And if you guys remember on Wednesday's video, I did the Innistrad Crimson Vow bundle box, and with it being October and us getting ready for Halloween, we have taken a trip into the realm or the plane of Innistrad in Magic the Gathering. So we checked out a Crimson Vow box for the Wednesday video, and today we're going to be checking out an Innistrad Midnight Hunt bundle box. I'm super excited to check this out because this is the second Innistrad set that came out. I think there were two Innistrad sets that came out. It was yeah, there was the Midnight Hunt and the Crimson Vow. Midnight Hunt came out first, and then Crimson Vow came afterwards. And I think they both came out last year, or Midnight Hunt came out last year and Crimson Vow came out this year. I don't know. I haven't looked that much into it. But we are not going to waste that much more time. We are going to jump straight to the table where we are going to open up this bundle box and check out everything that is inside. I will catch you guys at the table in just a moment. Yo! All right, guys, and here we are back at the table, ready to open up this Innistrad Midnight Hunt bundle box. And this is one thing that I'm kind of sad about. I ordered this on Amazon, and it actually just got here. Well, by the time you guys are seeing this video, it will be Saturday, October 22nd, but I am recording this several weeks in advance. I am actually recording this during the first week of October. I am actually recording this today on October 4th, a Tuesday, but the time you guys are going to be seeing this is going to be October 22nd, Saturday. So yes, today is Saturday for all of you. But yeah, this just got in, and there's some damage right here that I don't like. And the Crimson Vow box had some nice art, and honestly, I don't like this about the box, because now if there's art on that, it's going to be damaged. But it's just packaging. Nothing too crazy. Okay, let's see. Oh, we got a little... Ooh, the Moon of Innistrad and the Traveler's Prayer to Sigarda. Have your harvest tide may be your last. Nights on Innistrad grow longer. The werewolves plan to ravage the humans' upcoming Harvesttide Festival to ensure a future of eternal night. Werewolf planeswalker Arlen Cord must stop her kin and the encroaching darkness. Can she and her newfound allies restore balance before the sun sets for good? Okay. Oh, okay. Right, written around here. Sigarda the True, the Shadow Slayer, the Hope of the Lost, protect us through this long night. May the dangers in the darkness bring harm to no one, and may our fears be met with Heron's grace. Avacyn is gone, yet you remain. To you, Sigarda, we offer this prayer. That is the Traveler's Prayer to Sigarda. So, oh, okay, let's see what they did with this box, because this actually looks a little bit different than the Crimson Vow box. Okay, so actually, we didn't really have anything too badly damaged. So all this is to create a cardboard Harvestide. You can create your own Harvestide mask. Huh. That's cool. Okay. Let's see. And there's this little box. Honestly, there's nothing cool about that. Oh, but this spin down die is a glow-in-the-dark spin down die. So we get, I think we get 8 boosters, just like we got from the last one. We get a glow-in-the-dark spin down die, the Midnight Hunt card box, an alternate art traditional foil, Tri-Sky Decaphile. Tri-Sky Decaphile. Yep. And the 40 land cards, 20 foil, 20 non-foil, and 8 12 card booster packs. So, we're not going to worry about opening that, but I want to check out this one real quick, because we already know what the basic lands look like. So, Tri-Sky Decaphile is a rare human wizard that costs 1 generic and an island. You have no maximum hand size. It's a 1/3 human wizard. You have no maximum hand size at the beginning of your upkeep. If you have exactly 13 cards in your hand, you win the game. That's cool. Okay. Draw a card. And then all our foil lands that we get with this. Put that aside with the regular foils or the regular land cards. Foils and non-foils. So as I can tell, there's kind of like a whole werewolf theme going on with this box, with this bundle. And I like the werewolves on the box. And the Crimson Vow set kind of had a whole vampire theme to it. So we've got 8 booster packs. So let's get straight into it. So going into the first 4. All right. One of the art cards. Brutal Cathar. Ooh. And we get black and white art land cards as well. So we got a swamp right there. I like that. Organ Hoarder. 3 generic and an island. It's a 3/2 zombie. When Organ Hoarder enters the battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library, then put one of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Okay, that's actually not bad. Revenge of the Drowned, 3 generic and a island. Instant, target creature's owner puts it on the top or bottom of their library. You create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. It can't block when it attacks. Sacrifice it at end of turn. Okay, that's an interesting ability. Drownyard Amalgam, 4 generic and a island for a 3/6 zombie horror. When Drowned Amalgam enters the battlefield, target player mills 3 cards. And then for 2 generic and an island, Drownyard Amalgam can't be blocked this turn. Ooh, that's not bad. Okay, Falcon Abomination, 2 generic and an island for a 2/2 zombie bird with flying. When Falcon Abomination enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. We've gotten a lot of blue cards in this pack. Like, every single card has been blue so far. Dissipate, 1 generic and 2 islands. For this instant, counter target spell. If that player is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. Fading Hope, another blue card. For 1 island, return target creature to its owner's hand if its mana value was 3 or less. what do you know? A white card. Lunarch Veteran for 1 planes. A human cleric. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. And then Disturb for 1 generic and a planes. It's a human 1/1. And then when it transforms, it is the Luminous Phantom. It's a 1/1 Spirit Cleric with flying. Whenever another creature you control leaves the battlefield, you gain 1 life. If Luminous Phantom would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Ooh. Vengeful Stranger. 1 generic and a swamp for a 2/1 human rogue that can't block. When it dies, return it to the battlefield transformed under your control, attached to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. And then it transforms into the Strangling Grasp. Enchant creature or planeswalker an opponent controls at the beginning of your upkeep. Enchanted permanence controller sacrifices a non-land permanent and loses 1 life. Oh, wow, that's actually pretty cool. Tireless Hauler. I like the alternate art for this one. A 4 generic and a forest for a 4/5 human werewolf with vigilance and daybound. So when it transforms, it becomes the Dire Strain Brawler, a 6/6 werewolf with vigilance. That's actually pretty cool. Unnatural Growth. 1 generic and 4 swamps. It's an enchantment at the beginning of each combat. Double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end of turn. Oh, wow. And then a foil Bird Admirer, a 1/4 human archer werewolf with reach, and daybound. If a player casts no spells during their own turn, it becomes night next turn. 2 generic and a forest for Bird Admirer. And then when it transforms, it is a 3/5 werewolf with reach, Wing Shredder, and Nightbound. If a player casts at least 2 spells during their own turn, it becomes day next turn. And then let's see what our token is. It is a 4/4 Beast token. Okay, next pack in. Ooh. This looks like... No, that's not Liliana. But is that Olivia or is that a vampire? Just a regular vampire. And it is a artist signed one too. Olivia's Midnight Ambush. Okay. We get a black and white forest. Clarion Cathar's, 3 generic and a plains for a 3/3 human knight. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white human creature token. Search Party Captain, 3 generic and a plains for a 2/2 human soldier. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature you attacked with this turn. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Gavany's Silversmith, 3 generic and a plains for a 2/3 human soldier. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Cathar Commando, a generic and a plains for a 3/1 human soldier with flash, and for 1 generic, sacrifice it, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Nice! Broodweaver, 3 generic and a forest for a 2/4 spider with reach. When Broodweaver dies, create a 1/2 green spider creature token with reach. Dryad's Revival, 2 generic and a forest. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand, and it has flashback. For 4 generic and a forest, you may cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it. Okay. Chaplain of Arms, 1 plains for a 1/1 human cleric with first strike. It has ward for a generic. Whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or an ability an opponent controls, counter it unless that player pays 1. I like the ward ability. And then the Disturb for 3 generic and a plains. You cast it from your graveyard, transform for the Disturb cost. And then it becomes the Chapel Shieldgeist, a 2/1 Spirit Cleric with flying and first strike. Each creature you control has ward 1. And if Chapel's Shieldgeist would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it. Okay. Morning Patrol,
2 generic and a plains for a 2/3 human soldier with vigilance and disturb for 3 generic and a plains. When it's disturbed, it becomes the Morning Apparition. Flying and Vengeance, a 2/1 spirit soldier. If it would be put into a graveyard, yep. So I understand what the disturb means. So you're disturbing it from its grave, and then it becomes a spirit. That's cool. Okay. I'm understanding the disturb mechanic. Ooh. Tovaler's Pack Leader. It is a werewolf? Oh, okay. So it was on the other side first. So it's Tovaler's Huntmaster, 4 generic and 2 forests. For a 6/6 human werewolf, when Tovaler's Huntmaster enters the battlefield, create 2 2/2 green wolf creature tokens. And then when it transforms, it is Tovaler's Pack Leader. Whenever Tovaler's Pack Leader enters the battlefield or attacks, create 2 2/2 green wolf creature tokens. And for 2 generic and 2 forests, another target wolf or werewolf you control fights target creature you don't control. Well, I'm going to be making Bakukid a werewolf deck because that is what Bakukid really wants to have. And then we get a rare land card, the Overgrown Farmland. When it enters the battlefield, it enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands, and it taps for a forest or a plains. And then we get a foil Silverbolt, 1 generic for this artifact, 3 generic, and tap it. Sacrifice Silverbolt. It deals 3 damage to target creature. If a werewolf is dealt damage this way, destroy it. Oh, that's cool. Ooh, we get one of the list cards. Honden of Infinite Rage. 2 generic and a mountain. For a legendary shrine at the beginning of your upkeep, Honden of Infinite Rage deals damage to target creature or player equal to the number of shrines you control. That's cool. That goes with a lot of the Kamigawa shrine stuff. Okay, pack number 3. Okay, another art card. It is Gissa Glorious Resurrector. We get a black and white plains. Gavany Trapper, 1 plains for a 0/2 human soldier. Tap 2 generic and tap target creature. Duel of Dominance, a generic and a forest. Coven, choose target creature you control and target creature you don't control. If you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, put a +1/+1 counter on the chosen creature you control. Then the chosen creatures fight each other. Oh, that's cool. Howl for the Hunt, 2 generic and a forest. It's an enchantment aura with flash. Enchant creature. When Howl of the Hunt enters the battlefield, if enchanted creature is a wolf or werewolf, untap that creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has vigilance. Stuffed Bear, 2 generic for the artifact. Tap 2 generic mana. Stuffed Bear becomes a 4/4 green bear artifact creature until end of turn. That's cool. Field of Ruin. Tap to add colorless mana. 2 generic and tap, sacrifice Field of Ruin, destroy target non-basic land an opponent controls. Each player searches their library for a basic land card, puts it onto the battlefield, then shuffles. That's a pretty good one. Clear Shot. For 2 generic and a forest, target creature you control gets +1 until end of turn. It deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Ooh. Village Witch, 4 generic and a mountain for a 4/3 human werewolf with haste. And then when it transforms, it becomes the Village Reavers, a 5/4 werewolf. Wolves and werewolves you control have haste. That's actually really cool. And next we get the Shady Travelers, 2 generic and a swamp. For a 2/3 human werewolf with menace. And then when it transforms, it becomes the Stalking Predator, a 4/4 werewolf with menace. Oh, we get some black werewolves this time. Dawnheart Rejuvenator, 3 generic and a forest for a 2/4 human warlock. When Dawnheart Rejuvenator enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life, and you can tap to add 1 mana of any color. Vanquish the Horde. 6 generic and 2 planes. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield. Ooh, it is a board wipe. Destroy all creatures. Nice. Okay, we get a foil Loyal Gryph, 2 generic and a planes for a 2/2 Hippogriff with flash and flying. When Loyal Gryph enters the battlefield, you may return another creature you control to its owner's hand. Oh, okay. Ooh, we get a 1/1 bird token with flying. This creature can block only creatures with flying. That's cool. Pack number 4. Next art card we get is the Hedge Witch's Mask. We get a black and white mountain. Flip the switch, 2 generic and an island. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 4. Create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. Secrets of the Key, 1 island. Investigate. If this spell was cast from a graveyard, investigate twice instead. To investigate, create a colorless clue artifact token with tap 2 and sacrifice this artifact to draw a card. And it has flashback for 3 generic and an island. Consider 1 island. Look at the top card of your library. You may put that card into your graveyard. Draw a card. Celestis Sanctifier. 2 generic and a plains for a 3/2 human cleric. If it's neither day nor night, it becomes day as Celestis Sanctifier enters the battlefield. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put one of them into your graveyard. That's interesting. Dualcraft Trainer. 3 generic and a plains for a 3/3 human soldier with first strike, and Coven at the beginning of combat on your turn. If you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, target creature you control gains double strike until end of turn. Ooh, another Loyal Gryph. Borrowed Time. 2 generic and a plains. When Borrowed Time enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until Borrowed Time leaves the battlefield. Timeless Hauler, 4 generic and a forest, 4/5 human werewolf with vigilance when it transforms. Dire Strain Brawler, I think we've already seen this one before, but it's just the alternate art. Okay, so Flame Channeler, 1 generic and a mountain, 2/2 human wizard. When a spell you control deals damage, transform the Flame Channeler. It becomes the Embodiment of Flame, a 3/3 elemental wizard. Whenever a spell you control deals damage, put a flame counter on Embodiment of Flame. You pay 1 generic and remove a flame counter from Embodiment of Flame. Exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Ooh, Bloodthirsty Adversary. 1 generic and a mountain for a 2/2 vampire with haste. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay 2 generic and a mountain any number of times. When you play this cost 1 or more times, put that many +1/+1 counters on it. On Bloodthirsty Adversary, then exile up to that many target instant and or sorcery cards with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard and copy them. You may cast any number of the copies without paying their mana costs. Holy crap! That is amazing! That almost reminds me of something like a Splinter Twin. Unblinking Observer. 1 generic and an island for a 2/1 homunculus. Tap to add an island. Spend this mana only to pay a disturb cost or cast an instant or sorcery spell. Ooh, and then we get one of the make your own cards or a proxy card. Okay, pack number 5. Okay. Honestly, that vampire card was probably one of the most awesome cards that I've seen yet. Ooh, another artist signed card, and it is Rem Carlos Stalwart Slayer. Black and White Forest, an Organ Hoarder. Yep, we've seen the Organ Hoarder. Revenge of the Drowned, yep, seen that one. Drown Yard Amalgam, seen that one. Fading Hope, seen that one. Field of Ruin. You can tap to add a colorless, 2 generic, and tap, sacrifice Field of Ruin, destroy target non-basic land and opponent controls. Each player searches their library for a basic land card, puts it onto the battlefield, then shuffles. Morning Patrol, we've seen that one. Okay, Covert Cut Purse. 2 generic and a swamp for a 2/1 human rogue. When Covert Cut Purse enters the battlefield, destroy target creature you don't control that was dealt damage this turn. And then you can disturb it for 4 generic and a swamp from the grave. And it becomes the Covetous Geist. A 2/2 Spirit Rogue with flying and death touch. If Covetous Geist would be put into a graveyard, yep, you exile it instead. Ooh, we get another Shady Traveler. A Dawnheart Rejuvenator. We've seen that one already. Memory Deluge. 2 generic and 2 islands. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast this spell. Put 2 of them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And flashback for 5 generic and 2 islands, meaning you can play it from the grave. That's actually not bad. A Foil Plummet, 1 generic and a forest, destroy target creature with flying. And then we get one of the day and night tokens. Okay. Pack number 6. And the art card we get is Arrogant Outlaw, Black and White Mountain, Falcon Wrath Perforator. 1 generic and a mountain for a 2/1 vampire. When it attacks, it deals 1 damage to defending player. Voldaren Stinger, 1 generic, 1 mountain for a 1/1 vampire warrior. It has first strike as long as it's attacking, and for 2 generic and a mountain, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Blade Brand, 1 generic and a swamp. Target creature gains death touch until end of turn. Draw a card. Novice Occultist, 1 generic and a swamp, a 1/2 human wizard. When it dies, you draw a card and lose 1 life. Root Coil Creeper, 1 forest and 1 island for a 2/2 plant horror. You can tap it to add 1 mana of any color. Tap to add 2 mana of any 1 color. Spend this mana only to cast spells from your graveyard. Okay, makes sense for that one. A forest, an island, and tap. Exile the Root Coil Creeper. Return target card with flashback you own from exile to your hand. That's actually really cool. I like that. Being able to recall a flashbacked card. Winterhorn Blessing, a forest and a island. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature you control. Tap up to 1 target creature you don't control, and that creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap. 1 generic and a forest and an island for flashback. We get another Covert Cut Purse. Harvesttide Infiltrator, 2 generic and a mountain for a 3/2 human werewolf with trample. And then when it transforms, it becomes the Harvesttide Assailant, a 4/4 werewolf with trample. And then we get the Tavern Ruffian, 3 generic and a mountain for a 2/5 human warrior werewolf. And then when it transforms, it is the Tavern Smasher, a 6/5 werewolf. Okay. Tainted Adversary, 1 generic and a swamp for a 2/3 zombie with death touch. When Tainted Adversary enters the battlefield, you may pay 2 generic and 1 swamp any number of times. When you pay this cost 1 or more times, put that many +1/+1 counters on Tainted Adversary. Then create twice that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens with Decayed. Wow! That's a pretty good ability too. Oh, nice. A foil Covert Cut Purse. And one of the list cards, Chroma's Memorial. 7 generic for a legendary artifact. Creatures you control have flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, haste, protection from black, and protection from red. Wow. We've actually got some pretty darn good cards from these packs. Okay, pack number 7. See what pack number 7 gives us. Okay, for the art card we get Sunrise Cavalier, we get a black and white island. Lamholt Harrier, 1 generic and a mountain for a 2/2 wolf. 3 generic and a mountain, target creature can't block this turn. Pax Betrayal, 2 generic and a mountain, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn. If you control a wolf or werewolf, scry 2. Bounding Wolf, 2 generic and a forest for a 3/2 wolf with flash and reach. Pestilent Wolf, 1 generic and a forest for a 2/2 wolf with 2 generic and a forest. Pestilent Wolf gains Death Touch until end of turn. That's actually pretty good. Snarling Wolf, 1 forest for a 1/1 wolf with 1 generic and a forest. It gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Activate only once each turn. Okay, another clear shot. Unnatural Moonrise. A mountain and a forest. It becomes night until end of turn. Target creature gets +1/+0 and gains trample. And whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, and it has flashback for 2 generic, a mountain, and a forest. Another Harvesttide Infiltrator. Tavern Ruffian, I think we actually saw this one. And then when it transforms, it's the Tavern Smasher. I think we did see this one. 3 generic and a mountain for a 2/2 human werewolf. And then it becomes a 6/5 werewolf. Reckless Stormseeker. 2 generic and a mountain for a 2/3 human werewolf at the beginning of combat on your turn. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. And then when it transforms, it becomes the Storm-Charged Slasher, a 3/4 werewolf. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets +2/+0 and gains trample and haste until end of turn. And then we get a foil Diregraph Horde, 4 generic and a swamp for a 3/4 zombie. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 2/2 black zombie creature tokens with Decayed. When you do, exile up to 2 target cards from graveyards. And then, okay, that's not a token. And now for our last pack. Okay, our art card is Jaren Corrupted Bishop, black and white forest. Falcon Abomination. Flip the switch, 2 generic and an island, counter target spell unless it's... Oh yeah, we've seen Flip the Switch. Secrets of the Key, seen that. Turn the Earth, a forest, choose up to 3 target cards in graveyards. The owners of those cards shuffle them into their libraries. You gain 2 life, and then flashback for a generic and a forest. Rise of the Ants. 4 generic and 2 forests. Create 2 3/3 green insect creature tokens. You gain 2 life and flashback for 6 generic and 2 forests. Vengeful Strangler, seen that one. Chaplain of Alms, I think we actually did see this one. Yes, this is the one that gives everything ward. Yep, each creature you control has ward 1. Baneblade Scoundrel. 3 generic and a swamp for a 4/3 human rogue werewolf. When it becomes blocked, each creature blocking it gets -1/-1 until end of turn when it transforms. It is the Baneclaw Marauder, a 5/4 werewolf When it becomes blocked, each creature blocking it gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Whenever a creature blocking it dies, that creature's controller loses 1 life. That's actually not bad. And then our next card is, wow! Wrenn and 7. We get a Planeswalker. 3 generic and 2 forests for Wrenn. It comes in with 5 loyalty counters. You can add a loyalty counter. +1, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all land cards revealed this way into your hand, and the rest 0. Put any number of land cards from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. For -3 loyalty, create a green tree folk token with reach, and this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. And then for -8, return all permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. You get an emblem with, you have no maximum hand size. Wow, that's pretty awesome. Okay, we get the Falkenrath Pit Fighter. 1 mountain for a 2/1 Vampire Warrior. For 1 generic and a mountain, discard a card. Sacrifice a vampire, draw 2 cards. Activate only if an opponent lost life this turn. And then we get a foil Organ Hoarder. And, oh, sweet, we get a Tree Folk. And this is actually the Tree Folk token that goes with Wrenn and 7. Its power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. And it has reach. That's awesome. And with that, that is going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys did enjoy this Innistrad Midnight Hunt bundle box unboxing, because I liked a lot of the cards. I think we got some really awesome cards out of this. And oh wow, I'm gonna have to work on building Baku Kid's werewolf deck, because he's going to have a really awesome werewolf deck. And I know Baku Kid, I told him that this box came with a glow in the dark spin down die. So he is like super excited. Let's see if we can maybe get a little peek. It's not even charged. But when it's fully charged, let's see if I can get a charge on it real quick. Let's see if we can see any bit of glow. Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I think you might be able to see. Yeah, there is a little bit of faint glow. I mean, it's hard to tell, but yeah, that's super cool. Baku Kid's excited about a glow-in-the-dark spin-down die, and this spin-down die is actually going to be Baku Kid's to go along with his werewolf deck, and he's going to be super excited to add this to his dice collection. But like I said, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you have not already, please like and subscribe. It does help us out. Also, drop us a comment. We always love comments. Let us know what you have thought of Magic the Gathering Week. Let us know what you thought of some of the cards in here. Let us know what you've thought of everything that we've been doing in October so far. But until next video, I am Baku Dad signing out, one half of the Baku Boys. And always remember to Bakugan Brawl, let it rip, and stay awesome and nerdy. Peace out, guys.